Hey there. So we're going to take a quick look at communication methods, and this is the piece that we're working on during this particular unit, this particular lesson, about how we use computers and computer technology to communicate. And what I've asked you to do here in this exercise is to take a look at the most common ways to communicate with other people. I'm not saying this is the only way. I'm not saying there aren't other apps, but I'm just going to ask you to work within a framework so that you can kind of start to think about how technology has changed the way we communicate with each other as human beings. That's the real point here, because it really has. So I've asked you to take a look at these 6 ways of communicating with each other. You have a bunch of these: texting, phone call, talking in person, Facebook, Twitter, email, Instagram, and Snapchat. Those are the 8. I know that some others exist, but I'm going to ask you to restrict yourself for this exercise to those 8. And then I'm asking you to look at, there's 11 different options to look at for things that you're going to communicate. And for each one, I need you to choose a method of how you'd communicate with someone to do that particular communication task. And then tell me why. So each time you communicate, if you have to break up with a significant other, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever that is, you had to communicate a breakup message, how would you do it? You have to pick from these 8. I'm not saying you actually have to do it, but if you ever found yourself in that position, how would you do it? And then why did you choose that method? Then the second one, asking your parents' permission to do something when you think they're not likely to say yes and they're going to say no. Which one would you use, and how, and why did you choose it? Go through that for all 11 of these. And then a couple of reflection questions at the end. How would life be different if you could only communicate with people one-on-one instead of with multiple people at a time? So you couldn't do group chats. If you could only ever have one-to-one conversations with anyone, doesn't matter how, but only ever one-to-one. And then how will your life be different if the only way you could communicate with other people is in person? Tell me how your life would be different if that were the case. That's all you need to do. I'm going to go over this in class. Be ready to share out your information, because everybody will be sharing out your information in class. Remember, if you need to translate a document, go right up here, click Translate Document right in here, and that will give you a translated version in any of these languages. Just make sure that if you use a translated document, that you then submit the translated document. I can translate it back to English and take a look at what you did. Hope that helps, and thanks for watching.